Good morning, everyone. I'd like to start by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land we're meeting on today. I'd like to pay my respects to elders past, present, and emerging. My name's Simon Coburn. I'm the Head of Special Projects at Hyzon Motors, and this morning it's my pleasure to welcome you to today's showcase here in Yatala, Queensland. We're here to unveil the first hydrogen fuel cell powered coach to touch Australian roads. This coach is the culmination of a year-long partnership between Hyzon Motors and Queensland-based specialist vehicle importer and distributor BLK Auto. Using BLK Auto's chassis and Hyzon's hydrogen fuel cell technology, these coaches are ready to service many industries in Queensland and Australia, from resources and energy to government, tourism, and any other sectors looking to decarbonise their vehicle fleets. The coach is powered by two sources of electricity, a lithium battery and a hydrogen fuel cell. The battery provides instant power, while the fuel cell converts hydrogen gas into electricity and water, both sources working in concert to provide all the power that the coach needs. It represents an enormous opportunity for both Queensland and Australia to make the transition to zero emissions vehicles, and we will be excited to see this technology implemented more widely over time. In a moment, BLK Auto's Managing Director, Jason Pekotic, will take you on a virtual tour of the coach. Following that, there will be some time for questions and answers. To do so, please submit your questions using the chat function on your screen. I invite you now to sit back and relax as I hand over to Jason for the tour.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Jason Pekotic and I'm the Managing Director of BLK Auto that built this hydrogen coach in conjunction with Hyzon. What I'd like to do first is hand you over to Anthony Taylor, our Zero Emission After Sales Manager, who will actually show you through the componentry of this hydrogen coach.
Thanks, Jason. Let's go have a look. Most important thing, hydrogen refueling point inside here. Now if we lift this flap, we take a look at the hydrogen storage. 8 tanks totaling 26 kilos of hydrogen. Inside this compartment we have collision sensors, hydrogen sensors, and a vent that goes out the roof in case of overpressurization. Moving further back, inside this compartment we have the first of 4 battery packs. The batteries will provide an emergency source of power in case we run out of hydrogen. We still get back to a hydrogen refueling place. In here we have the cooler for the fuel cell to keep it nice and cool. Under here, where the motor should be, you'll find 2 more battery packs and a control unit for the fuel cell. Down the bottom here is the fuel cell itself. This coach has been designed with the mine site in mind. On the roof you'll find 2 pre-cleaners as well as a main air filter down here for the air entering the fuel cell. Down here you'll see the exhaust, not like a regular coach exhaust. This one only puts out water and steam, safe for the environment.
Come on in, let me show you inside the coach. As you can see here with the new electronic instrument cluster, we have the state of charge with our battery sitting at 60% and also our hydrogen state of charge sitting at 17%. We have the ready button, ready light in the middle of the tacho, so we're now ready to drive. This coach has been built to mine specification. This is a 50-seat coach with the seat coverings which are of a high quality to protect the seats. And the air conditioning system is electric and has been specifically designed for this coach for the Pilbara region. What we're going to do now is we're going to take it for a drive. There we go, handbrake off, doors closed, seatbelt on. And away we go. may not hear, but the coach is very quiet. It has a wonderful speed takeoff, and again, the most amazing thing with this coach is there's no road noises. So we're driving along, it's very quiet compared to a typical coach. Or even if you've ever been in an electric bus, you normally hear the squeaks and rattles of the suspension. Whereas in this hydrogen coach, it's very quiet, and it's a comfort to drive. And we see this hydrogen coach as a wonderful product to be driving around the Pilbara region with miners, and also the hydrogen support and culture of Western Australia will mean this is a wonderful product as we move forward into a zero emission strategy. As we're pulling up, again you hear no noise from this quiet coach. And that's it. That's our test drive today. Back in neutral, park, and thank you very much. So this hydrogen coach introduction to Australia has been a 2-year journey with Hyzon as our partners, and also with our factory in China. We've had our head engineer in the USA working closely with 3 engineers here in Australia, and we have the Hyzon team in China as well as our BLK team. So it's been a wonderful journey, and I'm proud to have this coach sit here today and launch to the Australian market.
Hello, wherever you are in the world. And thank you for joining us for the launch of the Hyzon coach. I know I said earlier in the pre-recorded video, you could enter questions in the chat room. You can also use the Q&A. There's a Q&A box. If you'd like to ask any questions of Jason or me, we've spent the last 18 months together coordinating a big team to put this coach together and bring it to Australia. If you've got any questions of us, here's your chance. If not, you know where to get it. I'm sure you know where to reach out, and we're happy to field any questions you might have. There you go. There you go. There's a great question. Someone's asked if we ordered one already. Well, yes, we have. This is actually for a customer in Australia. Unfortunately, for commercial reasons, we can't reveal who that is, but it won't be hard to work out. The vehicle is fitted with a mine specification kit. That's the yellow stripe, the flashing lights on the roof, and a radio and comm system, and a few other things.
Simon, the customers actually ordered 10.
Yes, and 10. There you go. We've sold 10. That's what we can declare, and we're talking to other operators about other vehicles. Someone's asked challenges of weight and volume and noise. Well, I don't think we've got any challenges with noise. In fact, we've discovered a few things during testing, things that we couldn't hear with the diesel version of this coach, but we could hear it with the hydrogen because it was so quiet. So we've made modifications to various other systems like steering pumps that you can never hear with a diesel system, but you can hear with a hydrogen. So their challenges have had to do with noise. Everyone knows hydrogen's a bulky fuel. So the hydrogen tanks are in the 3rd luggage compartment. We can fit more hydrogen in there. We can pack the cylinders more tightly, but those are the only challenges we've had with volume. The coach is a little heavier than its diesel equivalent, but not much. And it certainly fits the big 50 miners it's designed to carry, along with a big air conditioning system for very hot environments. It has a design temperature of 55 degrees Celsius, this coach. It's properly designed for Australian conditions. We're getting a lot of questions, which is great. Power to weight ratio. Well, of course, she has, as Jason will attest, it starts beautifully. It is a lot of acceleration from the start, great surge because it's an electric motor, same as any electric vehicle. It's a very nice coach to drive, Jason assures me. I don't have a bus license. Jason, do you want to add anything about what it's like to drive?
If you've driven any electric vehicle, it has a lot of torque off the mark. It got very quickly up to 80 kilometres an hour. and which it's governed to. But effectively, it's a very powerful vehicle to drive and enjoyable.
Yeah, enjoyable. That's what we're hoping. We're hoping when people get a chance to ride on this, they'll realise how nice coach travel can be. Not only is there not the noise of a diesel engine, there's not all the vibration and or the smell. So maybe you've walked around a coach before and you've got caught in the diesel exhaust cloud. This doesn't have one. Okay, it's quiet and calm and smooth, and people can relax and sleep, and I think it might change people's impression of coach travel. All right, we think this. I'm answering lots of questions. Thank you very much. We think this is the world's first hydrogen coach. We're happy for someone to show us one that it isn't, but we can't find another coach, and it's distinguished from a bus. A bus has a low floor. Passengers are seated and standing. A coach has a high floor. All the passengers are seated, luggage goes underneath. So we think this is the world's first hydrogen fuel cell powered coach, but it may not be. Happy for anyone to point out a precedent. Right, production ramp up. I mean, there's no reason we can't produce hundreds of these if we need them. There's nothing constraining its production. I'm being asked questions about typical range. It's a good question. You won't read in the media, but an electric vehicle is actually less economical at highway speed than it is at roads around town. All right, we're all accustomed to petrol and diesel engines that are more economical on the highway than they are in the town. That's not the case for an electric vehicle. So if this coach is trundling around at 40 kilometres an hour around a town, and we've done these tests, it will go up to 700 kilometres with the hydrogen it has now. We can fit more hydrogen on board. But at highway speeds, we're talking at least 300, fully loaded, 55 degrees Celsius. And then what your actual range is will depend on how you're loaded, how much you're using the air conditioning, and how your driver is driving it. I hope that all makes sense. Purity levels of hydrogen. There's an international standard now that Australia has adopted, ISO 14687. Have a look. It's about 99.95% hydrogen with tolerable quantities of contaminants like carbon monoxide and formaldehyde and other things. But this coach is no different. It complies with the international hydrogen standard. Price tag, give us a call. Talk about when you want them, how many you want, and what particular configuration. We find every coach operator has slightly different needs in relation to toilets, wheelchair access, numbers of seats, seating configuration. So if you're looking for a price, you'll need to call us and talk through your exact requirements. Fuel cell above 3,000 metres, another good question. We're talking to customers in Chile about operating fuel cells at high altitude. In basic fashion, you just need a higher rated compressor to keep the pressure up in the fuel cell. I'm sure that makes sense. So there's no reason that these coaches can't operate at high altitude. How many vehicles does Hyzon plan to have on the roads by the end of 2022? I'm sorry, I'm the head of special projects. Please call Hyzon if you want to talk about our full vehicle numbers. But we're certainly building vehicles in at least 3 locations around the world and planning to do more. Right, energy efficiencies. This code, okay, for fuel cell converts electricity. Our fuel cells convert electricity, hydrogen to electricity in about efficiency of about 50%. That's fairly normal. And really how efficient this coach is depends on how much you're using the air conditioning and how quickly you're driving it. So if you're looking at grams of hydrogen per kilometre or some number like that, it's not as simple. It's not a constant. It does depend on how you're operating it. The tanks are using 350 bar, 5,000 PSI. That's the maximum operating pressure. Of course, most of the time the pressure is lower than that. And when it gets down to about 20 bar, the system switches off to avoid air contamination of the cylinders, and because we need about 20 bar for the injection to the fuel cell. There we go. There's no reason we can't fit 700 bar systems. There's no reason at all that we can't fit 700 bar systems to this vehicle. You'll need a 700 bar supply, of course, but yep, 700 bar is also possible. All right, I think this is great, all these questions. Future projects, we're doing, okay, so we're looking at buses and coaches, and Hyzon is looking at trucks. Prime movers, we're doing a 140 road train prime mover with Arc Energy in Townsville. That's been recently announced. We're at the big transport end of the market. We feel there's a place for hydrogen propulsion in high payload fraction vehicles. That's it. Maybe not cars, maybe cars that are used continuously, like taxis. Generally, the car market might be battery electric. At the heavy end of the market, that's where we're working. Things that carry loads, capital equipment. All right. The coach, is the coach manufactured in Australia? No, it's a classic alignment of global supply chains. This vehicle, this exact vehicle behind me, the one we've shown you today in the video, has parts from all over the world, including Australia. It's made from Australian steel, for example. We guaranteed that it was made with Australian steel. The seats are from Turkey. The axles are from Germany. The fuel cell we make in China. In future, they'll be made in the US. We're bringing more assembly to Australia. Bonluck does quite a bit of work on this coach when it arrives in the country. I hope that answers your question. I don't think anything is made in one place anymore. You know, it's always a set of global supply chains, but we're keen to do as much work as we can in Australia. What can the Australian industry, including government, do to accelerate the uptake of hydrogen coaches? Buy some. The more people, I drive a Toyota Mirai. I bought another company's car to drive, to show all my friends and anyone in the company what a hydrogen vehicle looks like. If the more people who drive it, the more familiar it becomes, the more there'll be. It'll just, when people realize it's easy living with hydrogen, it'll become normalized, just like every other invention we've had in our lifetimes. They'll find hydrogen just slips into their life, and one day people will remember. They won't be able to remember when it started. All right, I think, why not BEVs? There you go. Why not battery electric vehicles? An equivalent battery electric vehicle would be heavier. You'd be carting a big battery around. And if you wanted to drive 500, 600, 700 kilometers, you'd be towing a very big battery. You know, your battery would be 4, 5, 6 tons. Now, maybe not, there's 3, 4, 5. I'm making these numbers. Anyway, that's the argument for hydrogen, that an equivalent vehicle, equivalent range, equivalent load, the hydrogen system will weigh less. You won't be carting a battery around, a battery that we still don't have recycling plans for, etc. That's the argument. This vehicle carries more load, and these are capital equipment. People don't get paid to drive a bus, they get paid to deliver passengers. How's that? Hello everyone from Chile too. These are great. You know, please keep asking questions. Can you get involved with trains? Yes, we're talking to a number of train companies. Safety issues. Safety is always raised. Let me tell you something about hydrogen that you might not know. If you release it into the atmosphere here, it starts rising immediately at about 70 kilometers an hour. So if you're thinking of starting a hydrogen fire, imagine how difficult that might be. I'll just let the gas out here and then no, it's rising really quickly. This vehicle, the tanks are pressure tested. There are international standards for hydrogen equipment. There are leak detection systems. As soon as a hydrogen leak, if there is, it'll switch off. The whole system just closes all the valves, switches off. There are impact sensors, a number of standard safety systems. They're not special Hyzon systems, they're standard safety systems for hydrogen vehicles. And this coach complies with them all. It's Australian design rule approved vehicle. There you go. Warranties, of course, that's negotiable too, depending on your needs. This comes with a standard 2-year warranty. The degree of escalation, I need another, I don't know what that means exactly, the degree of escalation of a hydrogen bus. It's so good to have all these questions, Jason.
Yeah.
What testing has been done? Right, this vehicle has done 15,000 kilometers of testing. The very vehicle behind it, the one we showed in the video, has done 15,000 kilometers of testing. It consumed 1.3 tons of hydrogen. That's not an expression of its economy. We did a lot of static testing too. used 1.3 tonnes of hydrogen during the testing. We did high speed, low speed, suspensions, showed privileged customers videos, if you like, of the sort of things we did to this coach. It's done a lot of testing. It's also done all of the relevant tests to meet ADR approval, including rollover assessments, brake tests, external noise measurements, etc. How long does it take to build? How long does it take to build, Jason? How long does it take to build this coach?
It's 8 weeks, and the lead time here is about four months. So 4 months for lead time of specification or components, and then it's about a 6 to 8 week build time.
Service times, we think, as a rule, takes about half the effort of maintaining a diesel coach. There are far fewer moving parts. So the services tend to be inspections and diagnosis rather than actually looking for oil leaks or, changing filters, all the normal things you might do to a diesel vehicle. It has a lot of lubricants and fuels. An electric vehicle, including a hydrogen vehicle, much easier to maintain. We think about half of the normal effort. All right. Yeah, good. There you go. Sam from Electromotive is pointing out that with scale comes, the costs come down, the familiarity, the confidence. Everyone will start talking about hydrogen in the same way that we talk about mobile phones. They'll become familiar. And as I said, I think we'll wonder where it all came from. It'll suddenly just be part of our lives. All right, is that... Look, thank you very much. We went, this is great. I'm looking at the screens full of, I've been asked, who do you see as a major competition in Australia? We're only as good as our competitors. So, we welcome them. I think that'll be a good sign. If there are lots of competitors here, then we'll be surging. All right, Jason, you've been asked what are the major differences between driving this coach and a diesel coach?
Look, I think the torque and power was number one, and the comfort of driving the coach was number two. That was the difference. And also, as I said in the drive, it was just so quiet. And I've driven a few electric buses and vehicles, and traditionally on a city bus, you do hear the road noise because I guess the city bus is so quiet. But when you scale up to a coach, it was a quiet pleasure to drive. Very nice. And also too, just on I guess manufacturing, we have 9 going into build next week in our factory in Nanchang, China, and BLK will take between sort of, I say 4 to 8 weeks to build those 9, and we hope to have them complete at the end of the year. And we're taking orders, Simon. So we need to let our audience here know we're taking orders.
Okay, yes, please come and talk.
Also,
that's why we've launched today, isn't it, Jason? We're showing you the coach. It's real. We're not selling a pamphlet. A few people have seen it this week. I know, Jason, you've shown it to a few people this week. It is real. It is here.
We have we've had many operators and customers over the last few weeks come to Yatala and actually test drive the vehicle with me. So if anyone is in Queensland near Yatala and you want to come for a drive, look me up.
All right. I think that's it.
Is that it? So I'm going to thank the team watching the TV screen back in Yatala. Thank you, team. BLK.
Yeah, thank you everyone who's put this together.
Heisen,
yeah, thanks.
Thanks to Heisen team, and also BLK in China. Are you looking as well or watching as well? Thank you.
Yeah, I hope they're all watching too. Well done. Thanks to the team. It's a big team that have contributed to this. It's been a lot of work.
Yes.
And we're very proud to have launched it today.
And also a big thank you to our customer too.
All right. I think that's it.
Yes, that's it.